going to grant these permissions. To use that, we entirely will call it as role-based permissions. So here we are going to create role-based permission groups and structure roles. So there are two types in RBP: groups and roles. Two types of RBP. So groups in the sense, first we have to create two groups: HR team and team. So here 10 users, and here also around some 10 users. Okay. So 10 users, and again we have to create a role. So in HR team there are two types of roles. One is recruiter team and hiring manager team. There are two roles. In finance team also, like 5 people working in a accounts department and remaining 5 people working in some GL maintenance, something like that. There are two types of users. Even if you take success factor groups also, there are two consultants here. One is EC consultant and one is RCM consultant. Now EC consultant has to get only EC related stuff and RCM consultant has to get only RCM related stuff. Okay. So for this we have to create two groups. One is EC team and one is RCM team. And again we have to create one role for EC and one role for RCM. Same way here we are going to create. Now how to create these RBP permissions like groups and roles. Okay, first we have to collect the information like this from your client, like how many groups you have, how many teams and who is part of that each team, and how many roles you are having for under each group. So likewise we are going to collect this information one particular workbook, and same we are going to execute in your system. So first here we have to create a group. So first we have to create HR team group. To create that, within the instance only, now you no need to depend on provisioning. This RBP permissions we are going to grant within instance only. To create a group, there is an option called manage permission groups. Manage permission groups. So in this manage permission groups, so first I want to create a new group. So there are many other groups are there, but now I want to create a new group. Click on this create new and enter the group name. So here I'm calling the group name is HR team, and then user type is employee. And now you have to add the 10 people into this group. Based on that user, you select the name. Example, the first name is something. Jihil is your first person in this group. So select that person, and again you select like whoever is part of this HR team. We are going to add this all people into this list. Cooper. So likewise, I told you some 10 users. Likewise, you select one by one user who is part of this HR team, and you add each and every user into this team. Okay, we just add it and click on done. So you can see we have created a new group called HR team, and there are two active members. So likewise, you can create how many groups you want and how many users you want, you can add it. So we are using this manage permission groups to what to grant, to whom to grant and what to grant, like that. Okay. So again I'm going to create one more group called finance team. And here also same way, based on user and who is part of that finance team, I'm going to select that users. Select that user and add another user also. Again I'm going to add one more user in this finance team. Likewise, you list out all the users who is part of this finance team. Okay, so we just created two groups. Now there is this something different access also, import static groups. Suppose if you have many groups, suppose if you have one or two groups, you can manually create. Like if you have one group or two groups or below 10 groups, you can create manually. But what if we have bulk number of groups? So for that time, what we will do, we will directly import the groups in one Excel sheet. So first we will download this one CSV Excel sheet. So inside this Excel sheet, we will collect all the data. So here you're going to create the groups. So enter the group name and then user ID and assignment ID. Okay. So group name here you can mention, like, now we have created finance team and HR team. Now I want to add one more user into this finance group. You can select same finance team. Then user ID, like who is having the finance team, like to whom you want to assign this team. You enter the user ID and assignment ID also. Likewise, we will collect all the data in one Excel sheet, and we will go back to this page and we'll choose that attachment and upload it. But max maybe in every client not more than 10 to 20 groups available, because like normally we'll see finance team, HR team and end user team, some other consultant teams only. Okay, so we can create manually only. Okay, so we just created these users like finance team and HR team. We just added some 3 users here and 2 users here. Now we have to grant system permission access, like system, like this finance team only has to access finance related activities, and HR people has to access only HR related activities. So those activities we are going to grant using manage permission roles. Now I want to create a role, manage permission role. So using this manage permission role, I'm going to create recruiter team and hiring manager team. And here we have a recruiter team is separate and hiring manager team is separate. Okay. So again, here you have to create manage permission roles. Create new. So same here, the role name is recruiter team. So we are using recruiter team, recruiting team, and description we are going for all HR recruiters. We will maintain like for all HR recruiters. And here there are three options. One in first one, name and description. In this page we are going to give role name and description. In second page, permission settings. So click on this. So why we are using this permission settings? Specify what permission users in this role should have, like what exactly they can access. So once you open this permission, so there are two types of permissions in SuccessFactors. One is user level permission and administrative permissions. So user level, like end user type of system access, but administrator level means like consultant level permissions we will grant. Okay. Now in user level, you can see the list of active modules, like all modules available. So in this, in calibration, I want this activity to access this by these people. And in goal management, there are many options. I don't want to grant everything, just only whatever the requirement of your client. And same way in permission in the recruiting also, because since you're part of recruiting, so for recruiting permissions you can grant. Select recruiting. If you want to grant each and every option, you can grant select all. If you want to grant only specific, you select that one. Suppose if you want to remove this, you can remove that also. Likewise. And then if you want to grant any reporting permissions, you can grant whatever this reporting permissions you want to make them active. So likewise. And then you go to administrative permissions also. In administrative, you are going to select recruiting, and using that recruiting, you're going to select one by one whatever the permission. Suppose I want to grant all end-to-end select permission, you can grant it. So once you've selected all these permissions for this team, and click on done. Okay, and save changes. Okay, so now we created one group, HR team, recruit HR team, and here we have created recruiter team. Okay, so here we have a role and there is a group. Now I want to link that group with this role. We just created only one group and one role, but we haven't linked it with each uh, other group. So now how to link or how to assign users roles with the users group. Okay, click on the same recruiter team only. Inside this recruiting team, there is a third option called grant this role to. So using this grant this role, we can assign that team here. So that whatever the permission we granted here, that all system access is accessible by those listed people. So here we have an option called grant this role to. Okay, click on add and you select to drop down in permission group and click on select here. And now here you have to search your group name. So which group you want to link here. So we have created group name called HR team. Find that HR team. Find and you just select and add it. Done. And finally save. Last save changes. So now we created one HR team and we have added some 3 people. And now also we created one role and we have granted all the required permissions to that particular role. And then we assigned that HR team with this recruiter team. So that whatever the permission we granted here, that all system accessible by only the under that HR team people. I hope you got some little bit clarity about this RBP, because this is playing a major role in success factor. For every time if you want to grant permission, like what are the permissions, you have different permissions and different employee levels we have. So based on that employee level, first we have to collect the groups and we have to create a roles. I'll tell you the description and meaning of this manage permission groups and manage permission roles. Manage permission groups, manage permission roles. Okay, so manage permission groups is mainly using to whom to grant, and manage permission roles meaning is what to grant. So here to whom to grant, mainly manage permission groups mainly using who is part of, what is the group name and who is part of in that group, like users like what, like people who are listed in the under group, we are going to add all the people into that system. That is to whom to grant. What to grant means which permission you actually want to grant to them. And then once you create these groups and roles, then link one role with one group. So here we have created HR team and recruiter group role. So link the HR team people into that recruiter team, so that whatever the permission you selected in recruiting team, that each and every user will get permission. Okay. If you want again, I'll create it. I hope you have some little confusion on this. Any doubt, any confusion?
Yeah, little confusing.
Okay. So normally you're working in your company. Do you have all end-to-end system access? No, right?
No.
No, even when you're also working in one organization, so even you also have some limitations. Maybe your manager can able to edit your payslip, but you can't edit your payslip. You can view your payslip. Like those permissions we are going to create here only. So
Okay.
for that, what we'll do is like, here we have a IT team and one is right, who is end user? End users, end users and management team or managers team. Okay. So, and have you heard about ESS and MSS? Manager self-service and employee self-service. Have you heard of these words?
Yeah.
Okay. So manager self-service says means your manager having a separate permission and your employee having a separate permission. Okay.
Okay.
So here, let me take for managers, MSS group. So all managers should have report permissions. Reporting permissions, and also they can access their team member payslips. So this is the first requirement of your client. Then the second requirement is ESS, employee self-service means, so for all employees can view their own profile. Even manager or normal user or even CEO also has to access their own profile. And along with that, any employee can request leave. These are the two permissions they want. To satisfy this requirement, how we will do in RBP? So the first requirement is managers group. So in this managers, all managers should have reporting permission, and also they can access their team member payslips. Any manager can able to edit their team member payslips. This is the first requirement. And the second group, they are looking for ESS group. Under ESS group, they are expecting these permissions. All employees can view their own profile, and any employee can request leave. So this permission. So how you are going to fulfill this in your RBP? For this, first we have to create a group called MSS. We will create a group. In this MSS, we are going to add all the managers' names. Like we will go to manage permission groups, and there we are going to list all the managers in one page. And then we will create a role called manager permissions. So there we are going to grant only these two permissions. One is like reporting permissions, and also payslips access. Once you create this group and role, and then link this group with this role. Okay. Same way, again you create a new group called ESS, that is employee self-service, and then go to manage permission roles, and there you grant the permission, whatever the permissions they are expecting, like 2 or 3 permissions. Okay. And then link this role with this group. So this is how first initially we will collect the data like this only. In one Excel sheet, we will collect all the group names, and we will list out all the users part of that group. And then we will collect all the role information, and then we will collect the proper permissions, whatever the permissions for each role. We will collect, and then first we will create groups and roles, and then we will link each group with each role. So this is how the RBP permissions works. Clear? You have any doubt or confusion? Please to ask. But once you create one group and one role, clearly you will get more idea about it. Like you just understand there are two structures. Like normally in interviews they'll ask, what is RBP structure? So in RBP there are two things. One is manage. We will maintain groups and roles. Groups we used to whom you want to grant. We are going to list all the users, and we will maintain all the users part of the team, like manager group or users group. And the second one is manage permission roles. These roles we used to grant particular system accesses. So using these groups and roles, we are going to maintain RBP, like proper security permissions for each user in the organization. Now, how to assign a group with a role? So for that, just go to manage permission roles, select the role first, and then inside there is a third option called grant this role. Using the third option, you just find the group, whatever the group you created before, and select and save. Okay. Only three things in RBP: how to create a group and how to add users, that is one thing, and how to create a role and how to grant proper system permissions. And the third one is how to link one group with one role. I hope you got some little bit clarity on that. So you try to practice. I gave you, so I just created this HR team and finance team. So now
Mhm.
you take this MSS and ESS example only. You create one MSS group and one ESS group, and then you create one MSS role and one ESS role, and only grant these two permissions. Two permissions, like you don't know where you can find. Just open this randomly and you can grant the permissions.
Okay.
Okay. So for this, I gave you some options also, like to create a group. manage permission groups. To create a role, manage permission roles. You can directly search it here. Manage permission groups. So you just go here and create new manually. Okay. So create this group and all. If you want, again I'll create one more group also for your better understanding. Because I just show you once again. I'll show you once again so that you will get clarity. Okay. So how to create a group? Click on create new. Enter the name of the group. So here I am creating some. Again I'll take some end user group, and here you select people pool means based on, and not only for with username user, also you can select list of users also. Suppose if you want to add manually one by one user, you can select using user or username. But now if you want to grant this permission for all like all the departments, for a particular department you can select the department also. You select this department, search the department. Even that level also you can use, like operations team. For all operations team we are creating, like people who are part of this operations team, they're going to get these permissions likewise. But most of the time we will create permission based on user only. Okay. In very special cases we are going to grant permission like department level and division level, or any business unit level. So then once you create this, add the users who is part of this. Like I told you here in your example, you select all managers I told you. So make sure you collected all the manager names here. Okay. Once you collected, just enter he or she name, who is part of it, and click on done. Done. So you just created new group called end user group, and then same way go to manage permission roles. And don't worry, I'll give you some real-time examples of RBP roles and groups. So you just create those things only. I have one document, I will share you. So create a role here. So here I'm looking for end user role. End user role, and description it's optional. You can mention or you can leave. And permissions you select. Open these permissions and grant the permission, whatever the permissions you want, like user permissions or administrator level permissions. You granted permissions accordingly. And then you go down to third option, that is grant this role. Here you can select, and permission groups, select that group, and there we have created the group called end user group, and select it. Done. Done. And save changes. Okay. So once you create any group and any role, and once you add some new permission also, make sure you're going to log out and log in. Once you log out and log in, then only those settings will applicable. Okay. So you just created. So now example, you have one group, you created one group, and later one more guy joined in the same team. Like there is a recruiter team. Here we have already created some HR team. So there are 10 users. Now one more guy joined into the same team. Now I want to add him to this team. Okay, if you want to add into this team, again you no need to create a new group to that new employee. You just go to manage permission groups, to manage permission group, and enter, just add that new employee name into this group, so that whatever the permissions the team is having, that all permissions will granted to this he or she also. Just select that group, again finance team. Suppose there is a new guy joining this finance team today, so we are going to add that new guy into this place. Just click on this user, like there are 3 users already available. Just click on these names and you can add another user. License phone or something. You just add and save it. So once you click on save, then this, like, there are four people now. The new person also will get the same permission. Whatever the permissions these old users are having, same permissions delivered to this person also. Okay. So this is how we can create a groups and roles, and we will assign group with a role, and then we can add or we can extend any user information later also. Okay. Any doubt, any confusion, please do ask, and I'll give you some data.
Mm-hmm.
Just access it. Okay,
Okay.
cool. And then, so this is RBP. So I'll give you some data for this. You just create it. Okay. Then we are talking about four templates. So there are four templates in RCM, right? Four templates. One is job requisition. Just let me give you some meanings of each template. Four templates. The first one is job requisition template. Second one is candidate profile. And then the next one is candidate application. The last one is offer details template. So these are the four important templates we have. I told you, right, there are two ways to create these templates. One is using your XML and using without using XML also. Within the instance also we can configure, and without instance also directly from browsing also we can configure. So first let me tell you what is job requisition. When you open any job in Naukri or Monster, what exactly we will see in that job descriptions? Like we have a summary, what skill set they are looking for, which location, and who is the contact person. These all information we will call it as job requisition. Okay. So job requisition is mainly deals with the basic information of your job, like what is the job code and for which country we are applying and which company, location, division, department, and who is the HR and who is the hiring manager and who is the contact person, and other information also, job description, like profile summary and experience they're looking for, and is there any certification. This all end-to-end information. Let's take some success factor role only. Suppose there is a RCM consultant opening. For this RCM consultant they will mention all the information, like we are looking for certified consultant, and make sure you have some two project experience, and you make sure you have a qualification like MBA or BTech or something. And uh, then other implementation projects you are looking, like all information we are going to gather in job requisition template. Okay. Then the second one is candidate profile. Suppose I found one job in Naukri. Now I want to apply. Okay. So in the when I try to apply, they are going to collect some basic information from the user, like who is applying for that job. From that person we are going to collect some additional information from that candidate, like what type of information we'll collect, your candidate profile, candidate information, first name, last name, these things. Along with we are going to collect your resumes, and if you have any other certifications, this all basic information, and your education information and your previous history information we are going to collect. So that information we call it as candidate profile. And then candidate application. So in candidate profile we will collect some basic experiences and previous education details and everything. But in candidate application we are going to collect some personal data. Personal data is like your first name, last name, and your joining dates, this information. Additionally, max to max, your candidate profile and application almost similar data only. Like here we are going to collect your education details and other qualification information on your previous job history, everything. But in application we are going to collect your personal data, like first name, last name, and what is your gender and your date of birth, and your basic address information, you applying for which city. So this information we are going to collect in candidate application. Okay. And then offer details template. So in this offer details template we are going to create like offer information. Example, your client is deployed in India and USA. So Indian offer letter is different because Indian taxation is totally different and US taxation is totally different. Now you have two requirements. One is Indian offer letter template. The second one is USA offer letter template. So that information, first we have to collect Indian offer letter template. So in this Indian offer letter template, first we are going to calculate like what is your taxation and your deductions and your benefits and everything we will mention in one template and we will create it. The same way we will collect information related to your USA country. We are going to add that base information, what type of slabs they have and what type of taxation, those information, what are the information they're looking for. So those templates we call it as offer detail template. Okay, so these are the four important, not only important, mainly these four templates are available in your RCM. Like entire RCM it's going to cover in these four along with some other information like we have RBP, these things. Okay, job requisition for what exactly we are looking for, candidate profile, we have to collect some additional data from the candidate, and application is mainly using to collect some personal data, and the last one we are using for this offer detail template to collect some or to create some offer letter templates. Okay, if you have any doubt, any confusion, please do ask. Maybe some 2 to 3 days is normal confusion only until you get normal, until you start working on the system. Okay, and don't worry, I will give you each and every, there is some real-time scenarios like real-time issues and real-time examples I'll give you. Based on that templates you can create it accordingly. Cool, so that's for today, and I'm going to share you this information like RBP roles and groups, because here I gave you one MSS and ESS and there are some template with me. I will share the template. Based on the template you try to create a groups and roles and try to assign it. Okay, if you get confused or any doubt, let me know.
Okay.
Okay. So that's for today, guys. If you have any, because I don't want to give more information, because you have to practice and you have to come up, because RBP is the main and important topic actually. That is, RBP is not only for RCM consultant or EC consultant or any other person who is working on this RCM project or EC project. Everybody has to know good understanding of that RBP. Okay, that RBP controls the entire success factor system access, because you see this user is having end-to-end access because they have created a separate admin group. In that admin group they have granted end-to-end system accesses. Okay, you can see this guy able to, like this person able to access all the system access, but if you go for any normal user, that user may have some limitations. See, this person can able to see all these permissions, but let me proxy some other guy, like other employee, like end user type of user. Example M1, I'll select some user. When I see some other person system access, their system access is totally different and the admin system access is totally different. Even finance guy also have a separate system access and sales guy also have a separate system access. So now I'm in this user system. You can see she don't have all system permission access. She has some limitations. And even if I go her admin center also, she must be having some less system accesses. You can see there is no learning, and in onboarding also there is no onboarding permission, and recruited also she don't have. See, even she has some company settings, the two with limited whatever the base options needed, like she don't have any options like this. Okay, so how they control, because they have created two groups, one is admin group and one is normal user group. For this user they have added some permissions, the limited permissions, but for harnessing that admin they have added some all end-to-end permissions. Okay, so this we are controlling using RBP, manage permission. And if you don't want to find that manage permission groups and roles here, you can directly go to admin center. There is an option called set user permissions. So using this page also you can access manage permission roles. and groups. Let me become self as Anya. There I'll show you. You can manually also you can access the fields if you are getting confused or if you are unable to find, because when you type manage permission groups, maybe some different options will pop up. If you are confused with that, you can manually go one by one step and you can access. Go to admin center. In this admin center, you select set user permission. So once you select set user permission, here you can see manage permission rules and manage permission groups and roles both. You can access one by one. Likewise also you can access. So this is all about your RBP. Okay, so that's for today guys. Thank you. If you have any doubt, any confusion, please do ask. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Raj.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.